Why, hello, and welcome to issue 639 of Geek in the City Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Duran. You're on mute. That's been a long time.
I'm one of your other hosts, Spinarina. I forgot that I was muted.
And I'm your other host, Cable Hashitani.
What's shaking, everybody? Yes. Sorry.
It's an off Tuesday, clearly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Denise, in your defense, I don't think you've done that in a long time.
Well, I don't typically mute myself anymore. Whatever noises I'm making, you just have to deal with it.
This is
largely
true.
Yes. That's true.
Well, and then I panicked because I don't know if Melon uses the same key functions as Zoom or other stuff that we use, and I'm like, I wanted to unmute myself with the keyboard, but then I'm like, wait, what if that doesn't work? Quick, where's my mouse? Where's the thing? Where is the button? So it was, all that happened.
Yep. Not going to abuse that.
Not going to abuse the new React buttons at all on here. Nope, not at all. It'll be fine.
Not even a little.
Don't ever give me new toys to play with. Well, let's see. Chat's already started. Someone has good news and bad news. It's poor homicidal fire cow.
Whoa, okay.
Oh, no. Well, let's talk about what we're going to do the show today while the cow drops the bad news.
So on the show today, we're going to delve into the Ms. Marvel trailer like we had wanted to last week, but we ran a little long. Then we'll do our recap of the latest episodes of Avatar that we've watched. But the bulk of the show tonight is going to be going where no one has gone before. In this particular case, it kind of is with Discovery.
This is
season
Discovery
4.
Is this is very much where no one has gone before. So yeah. All right,
the good news is Our Flag Means Death is an awesome show.
Okay, yes, I think we can all agree with that.
I haven't watched it yet, but all signs point to yes.
Yes. Well, yeah, I was so Taika Waititi posted this really nice Instagram post about how important the show was, or how important the show is, and for the people he makes it for. And it always one of those things that reads like, and even though we're not coming back, we're very proud or whatever, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I think that's just Taika doing that, I think. So
the bad news is about something local.
Yes, and I don't feel comfortable saying it because I have heard things about the owner who likes to make things actionable. So until such things are proven,
that's
I will. If you're reading this text, the thread, I will say allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah, I have heard rumors that the owner is very litigious, and that's the last thing this show needs.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
So that's certainly something that people should vet for themselves.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be the first time that a local place was under fire for similar allegations that turned out not to be true, if I recall.
I found out something recently. There were things about there was a bar in Southeast Portland where all of it was true, and then it sold, so it is no longer true about the new owners of said bar.
Which one?
Crush.
I mean, if these
Crush.
Oh,
at the beginning of the pandemic, they fucked over every single one of their employees. The new owners, however, have gone, oh no, that's never happening again.
Oh, that's good. I hadn't heard the thing about the new stuff.
Yep. I recently found this out.
I've only ever been to Crush before that knowledge ever came out, and after the change of hands. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good to know. I haven't been to Crush in years, so it's not. I mean, but it's good to know that because the Crush is an important spot for the LGBTQ community and whatnot.
Yeah.
It had also been the home for the Portland chapter of Dr. Sketchy's.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad to hear that it's getting better. That's cool.
Getting better all the time. Anyway,
sorry. Well, how's everyone's week gone so far? I know it's basically just started.
I mean, how's our week gone since we saw each other last week at
Right.
this time?
How is
Yeah,
the
there you
past?
go.
How has the past week been for each of us?
For me, very hectic, and I still can't go into a lot of details.
But they're exciting details.
They are exciting, and I actually got more really fucking exciting details 2 hours ago.
Wow, everything's coming up Millhouse these days, huh?
Well, I mean, nothing's guaranteed, but it's
Yes.
pretty fucking cool. So yeah, that's me.
I could tell you everything that's going on with me, but that is a short list. So no, it's been an uneventful week for me. So
You know what?
All work and no play.
well, I mean, Monday through Friday.
I mean,
All
these
work and
days,
some play.
yeah, these days, I don't think you should be like, an uneventful week is not necessarily a bad thing these days.
Well, yes and no, because uneventful to me means I don't necessarily have a lot to do. That makes the day go by slower.
Ah, okay.
Versus
fair.
like this week, there are many circumstantial things going on, and also it's spring break, and so my hands have been pretty full, and it's only Tuesday.
Oh, that's right. Spring break.
Yeah.
That time.
Mm-hmm.
Where 2 weeks from now, we're going to see the jump in cases. It's going to be awesome.
I still mask up, so
Yeah. Well, we talked about it really quick on the show, and we can't delve into it too much. We don't want to go crazy, but Wizard of the Coast announced a new book today, which sounds just pretty righteous, called Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel. It's a setting and adventure book. For the first time in D&D's history, the entire thing is written by brown and black people, and I believe at least 60% of the artists are people of color. And a lot more women involved in the book, and a lot of members of the LGBTQ community. That's pretty cool, actually.
That is good.
Came out of nowhere. Like, I started looking at it. First off, the book looks gorgeous, especially the alternate art cover.
Yeah, it really does.
So, man, Wizards keeps dropping stuff that, like, it used to be, I was like, I don't need that book. I don't need that book. And it's like, that hasn't happened in a while now under this kind of new, whoever's guiding Wizards in D&D right now, they're hitting a sweet spot.
they have found their Dave Filoni.
I mean, maybe. I don't know if it's set up that way, where like there's the one person kind of thing, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I don't know how they're set up either.
No.
And out of the three of us, I deal with the company more directly.
That makes sense. And then another little bit of news that happened. It happened late. It got announced late last night, and I read about it this morning. Has nothing to do really. Well, I guess it has to do with like nerd and pop culture. Martin Yan of Yan Can Cook is getting the James Beard Lifetime Achievement Award for contributions to the culinary world. And that just warms my heart because apart from my mom and abuela, he is most responsible for my love of cooking. I used to watch Yan Can Cook on PBS religiously. Never missed an episode. So that's just cool. And I love that he still does the same shtick. If Yan can cook, so can you.
I mean, that's kind of built into the formula, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
I want to like insert some sort of joke about how, like musicians who get famous talking about, like rappers who sing about like how hard it is on these streets, but then they become ultra rich and famous and have everything at their disposal, and then they're still writing the same kinds of songs. I'm like, yeah, but that's not your life anymore, and it hasn't been for decades.
Yeah, but that's his tagline. Like,
no, I get that, but
it would be like me launching a new podcast, but like not calling it Geek in the City.
I don't think that's true at all. If it's a different concept, it needs a different name.
Okay, that's a bad example. Anyway, that
it is a bad example.
Look,
no, it's fine. It's fine. He can.
Yeah.
I'm not like giving him a hard time about it, but it is a weird tagline to still have if you've been a food-based celebrity for decades. Like, I hope you can cook by now because you've been professionally doing it for a long time. You might be setting the bar has changed.
well, his thing was always the approach was that don't believe you can't cook something. I mean, he was the first, I think, now it's going deeper than I intended, but like he was like middle America's first exposure to cooking Chinese food. Like not going out and ordering it, but like cooking it. You
Mm.
watch his earliest episodes and he's literally like telling them that like, look, chop suey is not a thing, but I'll show you how to make what you have in the restaurants. Like it's not real. It's not a real dish,
Mhm.
but I'll show you what it is. Like I'll show you what they're making. Like dumb stuff. Like he's teaching them, like one of the early episodes, he's showing them all the different noodles. And you know, he uses, you know, he says like, you know, in Cantonese, these are called mian. He says, say it with me, mian. And then he says, so when you have, he's like, chow is Cantonese for stirring, like cooking. He's like, so when you have chow mein, and they're like, and like the light goes off on the crowd in like 1978 of like, oh, so, you know, that's the shit he would do. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
That's very precious.
And motherfucker can break down a chicken in 18 seconds. It's terrifying. With like a Chinese cleaver. Oh,
Okay.
come on. That's pretty dope.
I was gonna be fairly impressed, but I'm like, with a cleaver, is that cheating? Because like that, you've like really got some hacking power there. I don't know. I'm not.
That's kind of the only
I'm
knife
not,
he
like-
uses. You're such a hater.
I'm not. I'm saying I'm not. I'm being a semantic bitch. We didn't even have to have a conversation about this. So Yen can cook. Good for him. Great job on this award. Let's move on.
Okay, fine. Miss Marvel. What is Aaron? I don't get what that is. Homicidal firecracker.
You
know,
could
like,
do
on the
a
air?
gossip show about Simon Le Bon.
Okay, I had to read
Wait,
that.
who's Simon
Uh-huh.
Le Bon?
He's a member of Duran Duran.
Oh God, I'm just gonna leave now. I'm gonna go home. Bye. Bye, guys.
I know who Simon Le Bon is. And boy, does that joke never get old. The only thing that lessened the Duran Duran jokes is when that fucking Key and Peele sketch came out.
Aaron?
Yes. Yeah. Everywhere I go, you mean like, hey, Ron? I'm like, yeah, just like that. It's great. Thanks. Funny.
I don't know what that's like.
No.
I never
you
have
wouldn't at all.
anyone make
As a
any
joke?
comments or jokes about my name ever.
No.
I think
X-Force.
everyone has at least one, right? That like they hear all the time.
What's the one for Denise?
Denephew. Oh, Denise? Where's Denephew? Honestly, if you guys have
I
never
have literally
heard that before,
never heard that in my life.
Really? Wow.
No.
Because that's an absolute like dad joke. It's not even funny.
I know
Oh
that's
my
why
god!
it's so
Oh,
funny.
I can't believe you guys are laughing this hard. It's terrible.
I think it's because the way you just delivered it, you're like, bam.
It's
because
the
I'm so fucking
stupid,
sick of it.
stupid joke.
Stupid.
It really
I've
is.
never heard
God.
that till today.
I've been hearing it for let's just go ahead and say 35 years, probably.
Wow.
Oh
Nope.
my God. Yeah, I'd be sick of that too.
Yeah. If it helps, I'll
Wow.
never use that one.
Mm-mm.
Don't. Unless you want to be on my list of like fucking drunkles I hate.
No, I'm good. I'll take a hard pass on that one.
That was an excellent portmanteau. I'm very proud of you.
Drunkles? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't take credit for that one. That one just exists.
That one's nice. I like that one too.
That's true. Key and Peele made fun of my name too. D Nice.
That one's less funny.
Yeah.
And no one
Alright.
ever knows how to fucking spell it. I'm like, there's only one way to spell it.
How do people mess it up?
Yeah, they'll spell it ICE.
Oh, that's
you-
awkward.
Aaron, have you met people? They don't know how
That's
to spell
true.
anything.
I understand if someone says ERIN if you don't
The-
understand the cultural difference, but I get ARON, AARR. Yeah, like
I'll also just get Dennis. Either the spelling or pronunciation. Like they'll see my name and say Dennis, or they will hear my name and spell out Dennis, Dennis, and I'm like, you don't know English.
Again, have you met Americans?
that's true.
Do not get me started.
Every time I hear Dennis now, I think of an old strong bad. When he's
Dennis.
doing the when he's doing the tech, he's talking about the old text adventures. He's like, "You are standing in the cave. On the cave, there is a table with a flask. Your directions are north, south, east, and Dennis." It's dumb. Miss Marvel. We all watched
right.
the trailer.
This is true.
Yes.
It comes out in June.
June
Mhm.
8th.
June 8th. So that's marked on our calendar of things to do. Aaron, I think you had the strongest feelings about this trailer. Do you still have strong feelings about the trailer?
I like the trailer a lot, and I'm excited for the show. I'm curious how they're going to handle her powers.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like she's getting the cosmic bracelets.
So the bracelet in the comic is an affectation of her own design. It's
Okay.
something from her own culture.
I didn't remember that. And to be fair, I only read like the first, I think, like 12 issues of Miss Marvel. And not because I didn't enjoy it. It just became one of those books that I think at the time I was working at TFA, so I was reading everything.
Yeah. It's one that I have collected over the years, and I end up, like with a lot of things, I end up getting an entire year's worth of the series and then go through it and read all 12 issues at once.
Yeah.
Like over the years, it has consistently been still one of the best books that Marvel's putting out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the wrist bracelet is always only on her left wrist.
Okay.
And it's an affectation of when she designs her own costume finally. So it looks like that they're using that as the source of her power based on the trailer.
Okay. So the thing I'm curious about, and this may still happen, I don't know. I'm sure someone on Twitter who like knows someone who works in the writer's room has tried to say something. I don't care. Whatever. I am curious if her powers allow for her to physically change herself, because one of the big like moments for her in the comic is that she can choose to be a white blonde teenage girl as a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
And at first she's tempted. She's like, they'll take me seriously. Cops won't pull guns on me if I look like Captain Marvel, basically. Which part of it is she loves Captain Marvel, and that's totally a reason. I get it. But another part is her dealing with the fact of like she says in the trailer, I'm a brown girl from Jersey. I don't get to do these things. So in the comic, it's a willful choice of like, no, I am a brown girl from Jersey. Who has to deal with stuff that, white Protestant kids don't have to deal with.
Sure.
Yeah. So I hope they don't skip over that by just kind of giving her powers being more how we saw it, which looked really similar to Captain Marvel's power cosmic stuff. Like visually.
Yeah, like in the comics, she's an Inhuman. So like she got all of her powers because I think that was during IVX where the Inhumans and the X-Men were feuding and Terrigen mists covered the planet.
Yeah.
And like that's when they discovered, Terrigen mist not only turn humans into superhumans, but it also apparently kills mutants.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a whole thing, and that was where she was born out of. There are no, just like Wanda and Pietro, there are no mutants in the MCU, so there's no Inhumans in the MCU either. I know they made the TV show.
Right.
It didn't go well.
No. And even though it does appear like Black Bolt is in the Doctor Strange movie really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Or a Black Bolt.
And I know that, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had Inhumans. They still haven't had Inhumans in the MCU.
Right.
So I think it's. I think that, like, I'm fine with this being the conceit of this is how she's getting powers, because now they seem to visually match the kinds of powers that Captain Marvel has and that Monica Rambeau has,
Yeah.
which makes more sense if you're going to have them be the Marvels of the Marvel universe.
Right.
I do agree with your point. I would like them to keep a lot of the cultural identity stuff in there because that's important. That is definitely part of her character.
Yeah.
For the rest of it, I'm just gonna let it play out. I did really enjoy the trailer, and she does seem to have the sass that the character in the comic has. I like her daydreaming animated bubbles that go on.
Yes. Very much so.
The affectation of getting to see a character's thoughts or hear their internal monologue almost as though it was another character is one of my favorite things in TV and film. I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but I also kind of like it when they not as much, but when they text balloons.
Mm-hmm.
When characters are texting with each other and you get the balloons on screen.
I like that mostly because it's easier to read than trying to just showing us the phone and trying to read it. I'm like,
oh, on screen, their phone on camera. Yeah,
like, bitch, I'm watching that on TV. I can't see.
Right.
It's like I'm
Don't
not.
you know I need reading glasses?
Don't most people at this point?
Aren't you know we're becoming the old, so we can't do this anymore.
I mean, I'm not. I don't need reading glasses.
Right.
Just being a dick now.
Yeah, it looks good. I like that they haven't shown, even if there is some kind of big bad. I mean, the big bad could just be society, which is a perfectly acceptable big bad right now. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a great teaser. Like it has me interested. She looks great. The actress playing her looks fantastic. It's just pretty cool. And you know, again, I keep feeling like this is still just leading up to the Young Avengers we're gonna get one day, which has me excited.
You know, we're getting closer.
Yep.
The next one to be introduced is America Chavez, and that's in May for Multiverse.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
Yep. I just.
Oh, is she coming out? And is the Multiverse coming out before the Marvels?
Yeah.
Yes, Marvels is next year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, the next shows that are coming up this year, it's Moon Knight, which is next week. Man, that show looks insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer for that one. Whew.
Like everything I've seen, it's like, nope, this just gets more nuts and gives me less information every time they show a trailer. It's like, I don't know what's going on. Which is great because I don't want to know other than that we get Mr. Knight as well as Moon Knight. So it's Moon Knight and then Ms. Marvel. And then sometime later this year is She-Hulk.
Oh, that's right.
Weird. I thought She-Hulk was earlier this year, but it's apparently later. It still doesn't have a release date. I think there's one more. Oh, maybe it's the second season of What If is probably in there too.
Yeah, that would track. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, so is that that means Multiverse is the only movie we're getting beyond Spider-Man No Way Home this year, right? Is that?
Well, No Way Home was last year.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It just sat. It was just in the theaters that long.
Yeah, it was in December. No,
I mean,
we get Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, we get Love and Thunder. That's why there's a Lego set out for it already.
Right. Thank you.
The Goat Boat.
The Goat Boat.
I cannot wait to buy that set. I did just order the Multiverse of Madness Lego set with Gargantos, and it has Wong and Doctor Strange in America. Sorry, I need to do this real quick. No Way Home is available on streaming everywhere as of the 15th. So people have had about a week. Wong is the motherfucking Sorcerer Supreme.
Yes, because Steven fucked it up.
I've been sitting on that since I saw that in the theater. That changes everything. That changes his appearance in Shang-Chi. That changes his appearance in like it, everything that we've like, that changes his appearance in Endgame. Everything that he was doing as the Sorcerer Supreme.
Well, wait.
And still is.
Would he have been the Sorcerer Supreme in Endgame? Oh, yeah, because Strange blipped out.
He's been the Sorcerer Supreme for the 5 years of the blip.
That's right. Okay,
and since.
And since.
So that's every time, like when he goes off in No Way Home, it's like, wait, if you're the Sorcerer Supreme, what the fuck are you off doing? What was he doing?
I think he was training other people. I mean, I think that's why he's, teaching the Abomination how to fight without being, a murderous monster.
But also that means the Sorcerer Supreme is participating in illegal cage fights in Macau.
Which is pretty tight.
With a gamma irradiated human with powers that's supposed to be in prison.
Again, pretty sweet. I mean, I have no notes.
I love that tiny reveal, but that tiny reveal was wait, back up. This changes the storyline. This changes the thread. That wasn't Wong was doing a favor to Doctor Strange and brought Shang-Chi and Katie into the Marvel Universe. No, that was the Sorcerer Supreme bringing those two into the Avengers. That's what just happened. So yeah,
or the Agents of Atlas. I'm going to be pulling for that movie forever.
That would be great.
Norm says that early reviews on Moon Knight are calling it one of the better Marvel shows. I mean, I'm pretty excited for it. I don't know shit about Moon Knight, but and you put Oscar Isaacs in something, and I'm fucking there for it. But it just seems like a really interesting character, and that's why I want to get some reading done before that comes out. Forgot it's coming out in a week.
Yeah, you have till next Wednesday.
Balls. And that was the other part of it, is that Oscar Isaac is in another universe acting wise, and I'm like, we knew that.
Still owned by Disney.
We fucking knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't verified this, but apparently he was quoted as saying, like when asked about the whole Disney "Don't Say Gay" bill in Florida, he's like, "Oh, I guess my official response is gay, 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 gay. Also, Disney should get the fuck behind this and kill that as much as possible." Gay, 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 gay.
He reportedly began to sing.
Of course he did.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, I guess my comment, it starts to sing gay, 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 gay. Yes.
I do appreciate him as an actor. I've loved the things that I've loved his performances and the things that I've seen him in. I also appreciate that as a human being, he gives no fucks and uses his platform.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. He is one of the performers because people are like, well, don't make the mouse angry because you could lose a job. And he's like, eh. They're like, would you ever come back as Poe Dameron? He's like, no. He loathed The Rise of Skywalker. Like, he had a miserable time. Apparently, a lot of people had a miserable time making that movie.
They all did.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaacs has had he's done a lot of work. He was already famous before Disney/Marvel wanted anything to do with him. Yeah. So, he doesn't have to give a shit. We watched, just last night, the new Ryan Reynolds movie, The Adam Project. And it's got Ryan Reynolds. Oh my God, Bruce Banner. Now I'm gonna blank on his name.
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo, and
Zoe Saldana, right?
Zoe Saldana. Yes, and I was like, look at all these Marvel folks doing other stuff,
Yeah.
and then I was like, no, just kidding. All of them were actually famous before they became Marvel stars.
Yeah.
And that's not super true of everybody.
I mean, Jennifer Garner is also in it. She's famous and has never been in a Marvel movie. Oh, no, that's not true. She has.
Isn't she Elektra?
Yes. Yeah.
I was thinking about that too, but I'm like, yeah, but nobody liked that movie, so does it even count?
Oh, that's because it's a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
It's worse than the Affleck Daredevil, but still better than Catwoman.
Yes. I would also, well,
yeah. So
it's
so
not
we're saying,
better. Go ahead.
We're saying so Catwoman, Elektra, Daredevil.
Yeah. Oh, see,
I'm gonna go with that because I could at least tolerate, like, I could stomach Daredevil all the way through, and I know I've seen it at least once. I'm not sure that I ever did finish watching Elektra, despite multiple tries.
Yeah, I would go Catwoman, Ghost Rider, Elektra.
Oh, Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider is good for only one scene, and it's literally the scene with the motorcycle and the horse as spirits of vengeance. It's a 20-second shot. Now, the second Ghost Rider movie is pretty tight. It's still dumb.
Yeah,
but it's
Ghost
way
Rider,
more enjoyable.
Ghost Rider 2 is higher. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, fool. Yeah, no joke there. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, because I do believe Ghost Rider 2 has the scene where the spirit of vengeance like possesses a large machine and pees fire. I remember.
I think so. Maybe.
You're saying that's the one redeeming scene in the film?
No, that's just a scene.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in Ghost Rider 2. Yeah.
Well, Ghost Rider 2 also has Idris Elba.
It does. Yeah.
Oh, did not know that.
Yep.
Fire Cow is talking about how it's mentioning that Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice is the worst superhero film, but I think right now we were strictly talking about Marvel films.
No, Catwoman is not a Marvel movie.
Marvel.
Oh no, you're right. Okay, well then, yeah, throw.
I haven't watched Dawn of Justice, so I can't say. I think at some point I will watch it just so I know whether or not it's better than or worse than Catwoman.
I mean, it's after a certain point, it is just a grab bag of shit, right?
Yeah, I will.
Like you're just like splitting hairs on which one is worse versus another.
Yeah, I will, Cable, when you get around to it, watch the director's cut. It's like fucking 40 minutes longer, but it also makes the movie make at least a bit more sense. Yeah. My thing is like, and then we really got to like move on. My thing is I can never call any Zack Snyder superhero film the worst ever, if only because from a visual standpoint, like he shoots pretty films. He doesn't know how humans work, but he shoots films that are very pretty to look at as taken as like little vignettes.
I hate Man of Steel, but I don't think it's an awful movie.
Yeah, he's also helped by having performers that really, really care about the characters, even if he doesn't quite get them.
Yep. I think with Catwoman, it was poorly directed, poorly edited, poorly acted. Everybody phoned it in. It was like, it is technically terrible and performance-wise terrible, story-wise terrible.
That Sharon Stone is the villain with like the unbreakable skin or some weird shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like she was the origin they gave her, it's like, so you're like a weird version of Clayface, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, it was Halle Berry and Sharon Stone. That should not have failed, and it did poorly.
Well, should we jump into Avatar?
I'm a fan of Halle Berry as an actor.
No, we're skipping Avatar. Avatar's the dessert. We're doing Discovery.
Oh
'Cause we
shit!
got a
All right.
whole season of
I
Discovery to talk
completely
about.
heard you incorrectly. Then I apologize.
That's all right. I'm also. Oh, go ahead.
I don't remember. Go ahead. Sorry, I just had something weird come across that I didn't realize. Sorry, it'll derail a little bit. But I didn't realize that Jon Favreau is a consulting producer on the Orville.
We probably knew that at the time, but it was, that was years ago at this point, like when it first came out.
Yeah.
All right. That's all.
So season 4 of Discovery covered a lot of ground, had a mid-season break. I think we talked about a lot of the first half as it was going on, and then just kind of took the second half as a one big chunk so we could talk about it at the end. But the gist of it was there's this giant space anomaly that eats up space and destroys and could potentially destroy planets, that just shows up and then disappears and then shows up somewhere else, and the Federation has no idea what it is. Nobody in the Alpha Quadrant, Beta Quadrant, or Gamma Quadrant seemed to know what the hell it was. So they went, well, maybe we ought to go find out. And they did. And they turned out to be an alien species from another galaxy. They were split on how to do it. One half wanted to go, hey, let's go make friends. The other half was like, nah, fuck this. Let's go blow them up.
Right.
And that's pretty much where we jumped into the second half of the season.
Yeah. And even though I will always side on the, let's try diplomacy, you couldn't fault the people that were like, no, let's fucking blow it up. Like, they're going to kill us. And they don't even know we exist.
It's a not uncommon when a problem like this occurs, it's kind of always split pretty evenly with two people who are like, no, we have to figure out a logical, reasonable way to work this out, and the people who are afraid and want to take action based on that fear. And neither of those, it's not unreasonable to feel that way. Maybe a bit what's the word? Short-sighted.
Right.
If something comes at me and has the ability to destroy an entire planet, what makes me think that I can take it on straight on and win? I'm like, I'm probably just gonna get myself destroyed too, and anyone in the vicinity.
And I think that was part of the point, was that they wanted to show that sometimes there have to be other approaches other than using violence. But to Aaron's point, and I do agree with this, they did a very good job of showcasing that the people who wanted to take the traditional high road and use diplomacy were the people who were not directly affected by the horrors of having a planet destroyed.
Yeah.
And I think that was very important, because that was also showing it's like, yes, all of this is great. Maybe you should also be paying attention to what the people who have gone through the trauma are also saying, which ended up being part of the thesis in this final episode.
Yeah, this one, this whole season really, I mean, every season Discovery kind of deals with heavier themes, I think, than Star Trek as a rule deals with when it's week to week.
Yep.
Denise's desk is so loud.
I know.
Sorry.
We have to give you soft fidget toys for the show.
I think we just have to be more engaging so that
we have to just quit being
boring. I'm listening.
So that she's less bored.
I'm not bored. I'm listening, but I also have a thing.
You have a thing.
Please continue.
That's all right.
Well, I kind of lost my train of thought now.
It's been dealing with issues than it normally does when it's a week-to-week show.
Yeah, and season 4 is season 4, I feel like more than season 3 feels like the results of an entire writer's room and cast and crew who have had to live through like COVID restrictions for the last 2 years.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of like, how the fuck do we rebuild? And oh, look, right as we're in the middle of rebuilding, here comes another fucking crisis that can threaten the whole galaxy. And boy, are we tired of this. We just want to get by. Like, we just want to rebuild right now. But no, I guess we got to save the universe again.
I just got it cleaned up in here.
Yeah.
Now you've gone and knocked the plants over again. I wanted to take a nap and watch my stories. That's all I did.
Yeah. I do appreciate that there wasn't a big bad. I was really worried that species C10 was going to be a big bad. Because that gets old.
I was honestly hoping, like, I'm glad they went the direction they did. I was hoping early on when they first introduced the DMA, is that what they were calling it?
Mm-hmm.
I forget what, like the something anomaly.
Yeah. Dark matter anomaly.
Dark matter anomaly.
That's it.
Yeah.
I wanted that to be a naturally occurring phenomenon that was caused by space whales or crystalline entities or something, like thing that happens naturally, and it's like, oh well, that's why it's random, because it's moving in targeted locations. It's because where this thing goes, but that's not an intelligent being. We can't reason with that. Right. So let's find a different solution. And I appreciate that the species 10C was not only an intelligent species, but one that was clearly more evolved than any of the races in the Federation. But they were also empathic, like that they showed how much empathy it needs to be counted when taking into sentient life forms.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not just intelligence, it's also emotional intelligence.
Yeah, which is something that Trek hasn't really done when they encounter creatures that are so much more advanced than us. Mm-hmm. Because that's how you get Qs or the Organians, which I guess they kind of help us out, but you get a lot of omnipotent creatures that are like, you cannot possibly understand our needs. You are like the ant to the human, whatever. And this race was like, oh man, I'm bad.
I've been saying it since the very first iteration of Trekucation.
Yeah.
The omnipotent, all-knowing space creatures are all dicks. They're all just smug assholes.
I mean, I guess that's what happens when you begin to learn and do whatever you want. You just become an ass.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're not wrong in knowing that we're like vastly inferior to them, but you're not gonna be a dick about it, man.
Which the 10C weren't, which I appreciate. And they don't come across as they're omnipotent beings. No. They are just more advanced. Mm-hmm. I also love the fact that they are wholly unhuman.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing about this that's remotely humanoid.
I'm trying to, I don't know of another example where it's just, again, aside from like, space dicks at a magic door, or, the fucking doomsday machine that's just like a gaping maw of destruction, which we really don't have.
The doomsday machine is literally a weapon of war. It's not a sentient creature.
Right.
It was a leftover war machine.
Yeah. I like that once 10C was told, like, that fear you had, the reason you had to leave your home, you're doing that to every single sentient creature your power source comes in contact to. Mm-hmm. The very thing that has driven you to do this and has limited the size of your species to where you're barely hanging on, you're doing that to us, by the way. We're terrified. And then that was that perfect moment of right as 10C begins to understand, Book and, what's his name, shoot back.
Tarka.
Tarka. Which I mean, it's one of those things like is coming. Like this is you're going to have that dramatic moment, but it still didn't stop it from being like a really well constructed moment. Even though you knew it was coming, it was like, okay, the real question is going to be how do they get themselves out of this, not how do they stop the attack from happening. That attack was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That was Chekhov's anti-proton bomb back in episode 6 or whatever, you know.
Yep. I think that I do think that Book had to be there. Like my big guess was like by the end of the season, based on all of the actions that Book has taken, it's like you cannot bring him back to the Federation. You cannot have him have a happy ending with Michael. It's like, yes, you have shown that people can love each other and disagree and still continue to love each other by acknowledging those disagreements, make them individual people. But from a narrative standpoint, it's like you can't give them the happy ending because, like, while I'm not advocating for prison because I don't advocate for prisons, like that was not the direction Book story should have gone. And I'm like, I think an effective way to end this for Book would be he stays with the 10C to teach them how to not be horrible. So him getting to have that big speech of like, what you are proposing to do is not good enough. What you actually have to do is this level of change because the change that you're proposing still causes damage. This cannot, you're either going to be killing people directly or indirectly. Neither one of those is okay.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that like everyone in that diplomatic corps, including like Michael and Saru, seemed okay with Species 10C picking places that didn't have sentient life.
Mm-hmm.
Which means 10C gets to decide like, well, yeah, this planet has life, but it's just,
is it sentient? Yeah.
It's fish. Is it sentient? Are they really thinking, nah, I can wipe them out? And Book is like, no, son, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think that was an important speech, not only for the crux of the thesis that Discovery was trying to make this season, but also for him, like he says it himself. It's like I heard my own voice when I was talking about the 10C and realized, oh, I have to go fix the things that I fucked up.
Yeah.
I left a toxic trail of waste in my wake, doing what I thought was right. I need to go fix that. But everyone in the Federation needed to hear that. Everyone who's not part of the Federation needed to hear that. And the viewers at home also desperately needed to hear that. Our fiction is trying to teach us how to be better people, and we're not. I don't know that we're paying attention.
I am glad that Book. I mean, who knows what happens in season 5? But I'm glad that Discovery this season didn't end with Book being back on the Discovery and he and Michael cozying up.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is because Star Trek has this really bad habit of not having long-term or longer-term ramifications for main characters who do things that are wrong. That like over in Picard, Girardi's, she still has a job, and I get that maybe she's being influenced, but like she, killed the dude.
Oh
yeah, but yeah,
it happened.
It's all good though. Let's go ahead and just put you on a ship. It's fine. Trek has a long habit of doing that. In fact, I think the only time that didn't really happen was on DS9 when Cassidy Yates got busted for smuggling for the Maquis, and she's like, I'll not take it back, and Disco's like, I wouldn't ask you to, but you're going to jail. And she's like, I'll see you when I get out. And he's like, yes, you will. I love you. But, because it's like Cisco doesn't really disagree with what Cassidy's doing, but he works for an organization that does. And, I love you, sweetie. I'll see you when you get out.
Which
is hypocritical because he breaks some pretty major rules as well. But he decides it's for the greater good.
The greater good.
The greater good. And he doesn't get caught. I always got the impression that Cisco tended to turn a blind eye to whenever Cassidy. And in fact, I get the impression that if you were trying to help people barely trying to get by and survive, Cisco had no problem being like, do. But if you get caught, your hand's kind of forced, kind of thing.
Tied, I think you mean.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Once, as long as no one knows what you're doing, that's fine. But if you get caught, I can't.
Yeah, it's
defend you. I can't protect you.
It's like how in Pale Moonlight, fucking Garrick knew that fake wasn't gonna cut it. So Garrick knew from day one, oh, I'm gonna have to fucking kill this senator. It's the only way this works.
It's a fake.
God, I love that episode.
So
yeah.
With all the mirroring, speaking of the esteemed Captain Cisco, with all the mirroring and hints that this season did of Deep Space Nine, when the 10C opened a wormhole back to the Alpha Quadrant, I was 100% ready for Captain Cisco to show up on the bridge of the Discovery.
I know. And the thing is that if Avery Brooks was in good health, I could say that's a possibility, but he just isn't. And then what do? Do you fucking recast Benjamin Sisko?
I thought I had some similar vibes during Picard.
Which I haven't seen yet.
Oh, then we can't.
Yeah, I'm behind. Well, I apologize.
I would struggle to describe what scene I was thinking of anywhere, like at what moment I was thinking it, but there was a point where I was like, are they gonna fucking put Cisco in here right now? I don't like you said, like he's not in good health, so he doesn't appear in anything. He's like,
yeah, and I don't know how fans would react to like hiring an actor and then doing like the CGI, hiring someone who looks like a younger
deep
Avery Brooks and
doing
then kind of deep fake
it.
Like I don't know how well that would go over. Like that's a hard sell for people. But it's flat out the same timeline. This doesn't give it away, Cable, but in one of the early opening moments of episode 2 of Picard or whatever, like they mentioned the cards from the DS9 episode from Past Tense. The identification
episode
cards.
3, you mean?
Or 3, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, I already know that 2024 is the year of the Bell riots. That's been the big thing. As soon as they said we're going to 2024, like in the trailer, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's why I went back and watched those episodes.
Like you've already got Starfleet officers in that time period.
In San Francisco. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, on the Discovery front, can we take a fun little jaunt into fucking Saru and Tarina?
Oh
man. Getting that Kelpian and Vulcan love on.
Oh my god, like two fucking introverts, just the cutest, awkwardest.
I really appreciate them giving Michael a love interest. That makes sense. Like they do that with captains all the time, but like, you know, out of all of those episodes, Spock had like one episode where he actively hit on a woman. That was the Cloudminders. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well,
where she like the woman walks in and says, "Oh, I've never before met a Vulcan," and he says, "Nor have I, a work of art." And even Kirk looks at him like,
"Oh, that's right.
What did you just say?"
I remember that.
Yeah,
I was also thinking the planet with the spores, where that's technically still Spock, but his emotions have been, you know.
Yeah, no, this was the Spock that we know and love was unbelievably slick. Anyway, so it's nice to see this come about with Saru, and President Tarina makes total sense. It's like, yeah, they're very well The actors also have very good chemistry together on screen. Like I
Mhm.
like watching them; they're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really sell this like quiet but respectful budding romance.
Oh yeah, it's like Remains of the Day, but in space.
Yeah. Like we know of it. We know basically what maybe there are technically 2 dates they have. Like one's like, would you like to like? There's one that's join me for tea.
Mhm.
Another is, can you show me that ritual again for finding peace?
Mhm.
And I think their final date is at the end of Discovery, where Saru's like, look at my flowers.
Mhm.
It's so proper and wonderful.
It's all great.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that. Did anyone else have a small panic attack when Detmer volunteered to fly the shuttle on a suicide mission?
Yes.
Mm,
I was like, don't you dare.
She stood up and said that, and I'm like, nah, it's not going to be you. Someone else on the bridge has to go. I know it's not going to be you. Oh, of course, it's the general because she needs to make up for what she did.
Yeah,
right.
but
And then she
They
still
s-
got to live, which was important. I felt that was very important.
yeah, this did feel like for the characters a very consequence free in the end. Like,
Sort of.
eh,
I think what they were trying to get across to me anyway is that you can still yes, you can make horrible decisions. That's not the end of your story,
yeah,
and it shouldn't be. Um Again, this is, I think, the meta conversation of the show is like, we have all had it rough and we have all been on one side or the other, and neither one of them has been 100% right or 100% wrong. We all need to get on the same fucking page.
yeah, no, that's
And if
true.
if you feel like you've made more mistakes, there's time to make up for it, and it doesn't mean that you're done.
Um, the other reason why I would have been heartbroken if Detmer had died in the
Mm-hmm.
show is that means we would not get any more of the incredibly cute but awkward Adira, like
Oh God.
having some hero worship of Detmer. I'm like,
Right.
you're cool. Because someone told me like, oh, it's kind of weird, like Adira's very young, and that seems awkward to be hitting on Detmer. I was like, they're not hitting on her.
It's
They're
not romantic.
no,
Adira's
it's
got
total,
someone already.
See,
and it's total hero where she's like, oh, or they're like, you're awesome.
Mhm.
that's that
I thought it
same
was
camp.
incredibly charming.
Yeah, it was. But that's that same. The people that think that Adira is trying to hit on Detmer is the same people who are like, oh, clearly, and Detmer in a relationship. I'm like, not every relationship that involves love has to be romantic.
Right.
Like, Detmer and Owo are like the best of friends.
Mhm.
They clearly love each other and care for each other. They're not in a romantic relationship.
Yeah. And they both
Like,
have positions on the bridge that damn near require them to be telepathic of each other.
yes.
Like you have to know that person so well.
Yeah, there's an intrinsic bond that happens there professionally, so it all makes sense. It works together. Like
Mhm.
you probably wouldn't even know which came first. Like they're like hardcore friendship or that like powerful work bond that they have because
Mhm.
of what they do together
Yeah.
professionally.
I mean, I get why people say that because this is actually a very much a choice that has been mentioned by the showrunner of Discovery. Like the queer signaling on Discovery is not a subtle signal. It is a bright fucking rainbow light that says, "Look at us!"
Mhm.
Well,
So-
there was a magazine, and I'm not going to remember which one it was. It might have been like Out. Okay, thank you. And it's basically like 60% of the cast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who's not LGBTQ in that cast at this point.
Suniko Martin Green.
Mhm.
At least as we know. I mean,
that we're aware of.
Yeah. Book.
David Ajala.
David Ajala, yeah. The woman who plays the
maybe
Woshiku.
Grudge. We don't know.
Grudge do what Grudge won't. And also, I can't be mad at Sack for this. He said that scene was adorable.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's good.
Yep. I'll allow it.
I am gonna hate. Where'd it go? About the arm flaps. So I think it's a wash. Zach.
All right. It still blows me away how Doug Jones walks in that suit.
I know, it's so fluid. I love it.
Oh my god. Also, I mean, how can we not bring up one of the best like cameo castings of all time?
Ah, yeah, I was waiting for
And
that.
how it enraged Ted Cruz.
Well, fuck
That's
him.
the best
Yeah.
part.
Fuck
That is
that
the
guy.
best part of it. That's the second
Yeah.
best part. The best part is Stacey Abrams actually being on Star Trek.
Yeah.
I don't understand like where people are getting this. It's like, oh, this is just stunt casting. You know, Trek never does this. Like Trek does this shit all the time. Have
All
you
the
never
time.
watched Star Trek? Have you watched the show?
Yeah. My biggest tweet ever was from when I did those 9 pictures. It's got like 7,000 ridiculous likes now or something. That's what I was like, hey, if you all like this, check out Season the Brewhob, March 30th.
Good job. Man, I
Thanks.
was excited when I got like 300 likes the other day.
This is the biggest one I've ever had. That's kind of bonkers.
No, it was like 600 because I was like, holy shit, I don't even know that many people.
You're like, Bean has made it.
Way to one up me.
You're welcome. Sorry.
Way to go.
Well, I think the main complaint I've been hearing from idiots, and that's just what I'll say is idiots, is that it doesn't seem right that someone who is a standing politician should have that large of a whatever presence on a show like that. And I'm like, you know, they're not forbidden from doing other jobs.
Oh, wait, what do you mean that large of a presence on a show like that? What does that mean?
She's running for governor, so they're thinking that this gives her an unjust leg up on her opponents, which is the most ridiculous statement ever.
That's stupid.
We all know the real reason why people are saying it.
Yes, they have a fear of a black female president.
Star Trek does like to predict the future. I mean, I got excited for the social aspect, and there is a social aspect to Stacey Abrams playing the president of Earth in the future. But honestly, I respect her work. I love her work. I've supported her campaigns as best I can. But I also know that she's a huge nerd, and I think my initial like, oh shit, was because she got to do that thing that like every fan has ever dreamed of. Like, oh my god, they offered me a little tiny part in Star Trek. That legitimately, that's what I was happy about at first. I was like, oh, Stacey Abrams, that's so cool. You got to live a dream. And then I was like, oh wait, this is also a really socially important movement too. But fuck yeah, that's cool. You know, that was my gut reaction to it.
Yep.
I do have to admit, I did not recognize her on sight. I guess I haven't seen her face that many times.
That's fair.
But yeah, I don't. I can't imagine an argument that someone can throw about her being on the show that is valid.
There's not, you know, and I didn't go into it too much, but my only reply to the person, I only responded like one person who brought the political angle. And I was like, dude, you know that there has been the same sitting president or senator who has been in every single Batman movie?
What?
So I don't remember his name, and he might still be a senator. Okay, so remember in The Dark Knight, the Joker is in Wayne Tower and he's threatening all the rich people because he's throwing the thing for Harvey Dent, the fundraiser. And Joker goes up to that one guy, that old man, because the old man says, we don't respond to people who make threats. And he's like, oh, you don't, do you? That's a senator.
Mm-hmm.
And he has been in almost every Batman movie because he loves Batman and he's a senator. And he's like, can I be in your Batman movie? And they're like, sure, senator. And he may be retired now or whatever. And I speak from ignorance. I don't know his positions. I don't know a lot about him. And I do know that of all the perks that senators use while they're in office, getting to be in a Batman movie is the lowest on my list of problematic things they do.
Scott in the chat says that it's Patrick Leahy.
Okay, he probably is a piece of crap.
I mean, he's an ancient white man.
Yeah, I mean, he's a senator from Vermont.
Politics.
He's the Democratic senator from Vermont. And look, that's what I'm saying.
But the point is, like, nobody said shit about that.
Nobody said shit about it. No. And you know,
and I know that
the fucking admiral in Hunt for Red October, you know, he was a senator or a congressman. Yeah, no one gave them shit.
I remember when AOC went to the what was it, the Met Gala,
Mm-hmm.
and like threw a fit about like, oh, that's like a $5,000 plate party plus the dress, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, that's not how it works.
Right. And if I remember correctly, the Met Gala is considered, even though it's got a lot of pomp and circumstance, I do believe city or district representatives are invited for free because of the status of the Met. It's a weird. Yeah,
Sure.
Basically, she didn't buy a ticket to go.
No.
Well, I think what was established was, is I wouldn't know for sure, but what I remember reading is that like mostly designers buy tickets to those events because they want to have someone wear their garments to the event. So like, look,
Right.
I'll buy your ticket, just wear my dress.
It is.
Right.
It's specifically for the Met Museum. It is a fundraising event for their Costume Institute.
Which is why it's such a big deal for designers.
It is, it encourages the rich and famous to wear outrageous costumes and show off. That's the whole point of it. It is a fundraising event. So that's why it's expensive, because, we don't want to pay government money to fund these things. We want billionaire philanthropists to pay into it because they get tax write-offs for it. Not that I have other opinions about this, but it shouldn't be. The military should have fundraisers. Schools shouldn't.
Yes. And quick side note, Leahy has been in 6 Batman movies.
Wow.
He wasn't in the Batman because of COVID, and he literally said, I had too much to do in Congress to be in the Batman. And he apparently donates all his fees and everything he gets paid to Vermont charities. So whatever.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, it's fine. They should be allowed to do that rather than sell stock while they're serving in Congress. You could be in all the fucking movies you want. You shouldn't be allowed to play the stock market when you're in Congress. There you go.
I think that's a fair trade-off.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to season 5 of Discovery.
Me too.
I think when season 2 of Picard wraps, we will give our thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm.
And
I also like that season 4 just kind of ended. It didn't end on a dun dun dun. What's coming next? It just
it did feel a little anticlimactic because we are so used to these like big bads and there's a big battle and all of that, but everything ended on a good but also realistic note. Like the thing with Book where he has consequences.
Mm-hmm. It's because they did that 4 episodes ago.
The big bad.
They before they went out in the galaxy, or out of the galaxy and into the new galaxy, they had the meeting with Kovac, David Cronenberg. They're all sitting around the table talking about what they're going to go do.
Mm-hmm.
And Kovac, who is clearly the expert in these matters, it's like, however you think the meeting with 10C is going to go, you're wrong. However you think that communication with them is going to be, you're wrong. Whatever you think about this species, you're wrong. All of it is wrong. That's the only guarantee I can give you. And he's like, we can do this, and this is what the delegation has to be, and this doctor is going with you, and he'll be great. And everyone just kind of stops and goes, I'm sorry, you're the expert. Why are you not going with us? He's like, because I have other things to attend to. I'm
too important.
I'm wondering.
And everyone in the room went, what are you doing that is more pressing than an intergalactic species destroying our galaxy? And his response was, pray you never find out, and left the table.
Do you think he's a Q?
I don't think he's a Q. I think he's actually doing something that is another threat.
Well, go back and watch that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that the communications officer, Bryce, Commander Bryce, who's normally on the bridge, that has been replaced by Lieutenant Christopher for most of this season.
Mhm.
When we have seen him, they did mention that he's been working with Kovac and he can't talk about what he's doing. There's something
true.
else going on.
And also,
Huh.
I rewatched part of the season. That scene with him,
Mm-hmm.
the Kovac is fiddling with a communicator on the table. It's a Picard era communicator.
Fuck.
It's the arrowhead with the 2 bars behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love. I don't know how I've managed to enjoy Star Trek this long and this far without it having either David Cronenberg or Tig Notaro in it,
Yeah.
because I love both of these editions.
Yeah.
Tig was
Great.
great, by the way. She didn't. I was starting to feel like she didn't have a lot of airtime in this season, and I guess they were just saving her for this final arc.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I really enjoy her.
I love that she still admits that she has no idea what she's saying half the time.
It's all gibberish anyway.
Yeah.
The true, that part's acting. The part that's all Tig is her snacking all the time. It has to be.
Yeah.
I'm famished. You get me some food.
Well,
Yeah, it's for however much she wants to like complain or like sort of like apologize for it, she still sells the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm. I think my favorite bit, and Merrick is convinced, she's like, that was ad-libbed and everyone went with it, is her last communication to Stamets in engineering, where she's like, all right, Bobcat. and everyone else just kind of goes, Bobcat? Their reactions felt very... Tig just made that up.
I think Anthony Rapp had maybe hinted at the fact that that was actually ad-libbed. Because I thought I read somewhere on Twitter where he said something like, the problem is that that nickname is sticking in real life.
I don't know why, but I think it really works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Do not ask me why, but it just feels right.
Because Tig said it.
Maybe that's Tig said it, and so it shall be.
Yeah. Well, should we jump into Avatar so we can give it some time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. While we do that, I'm going to pop these open.
Okay.
And try to eat them while we're reviewing.
Well,
Avatar.
if you don't mind vamping, I need to get water so bad. My throat's killing me. I'm sorry.
Certainly. In fact, this is a good time for us to take a break.
We'll be
Okay,
right
yeah,
back.
go-
Like not
go-
long.
Yeah. We'll vamp. You go get water. That was just your, so that he can put
Right.
the ad in.
None of this will be in the recording.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
Well, then it's not really a break, is it?
No, remember he has been doing that so that he can put commercials in.
Right.
That's all that is. He will also leave all of this in because he'll go, "Oh, this is funny. This is what listeners want."
Is it?
So
I don't know what anyone wants anymore. I'm just so out of the loop anymore.
oh god, these do smell like hot tamales. This is insane.
I'm so jealous right now. They just sound delicious. Like I can taste them in my brain.
The filling too is also very pink, so it's not just
saturated.
Yep, it's probably cinnamon flavored marshmallow cream.
I'm gonna. You know what? I gotta get dinner after this, so maybe I'll just go to the store, just buy up all the cinnamon hot tamale peeps.
Norm, I'm half white. It's fine.
How are they? Because I like hot tamales, so
they're good. If you want to hurt yourself with candy,
I'm disappointed that my mouth is not on fire right now.
Aww.
It has all of the flavor of the hot tamales without the heat. Either that or I've been eating a lot more spicy foods and I've gotten used to them.
That does happen. For sure.
That's a little depressing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been my secret thing of I've been making spicier foods. Largely because if I immediately can't taste it, then I'm like, oh, I've got the COVID. So, which I don't,
Yeah.
because this still has flavor. I realize it could also be asymptomatic, but we aren't going to go there. Avatar.
Mhm.
Avatar. All right. So since you're eating Peeps, I do have the synopsis here, if you like.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, this.
We
is
did
still-
16, 17, and 18.
Yes. So episode 16 is called The Deserter.
Mhm.
After accidentally revealing his status as the Avatar at a festival, Aang is brought to Zhang, a firebending master who rejected the Fire Nation. Zhang initially refuses to teach Aang firebending, but concedes after he has a vision from Avatar Roku. During the training, Aang accidentally burns Katara, but she then finds out that she is able to cure herself with water healing abilities that she didn't realize she had. Meanwhile, Aang is feeling really guilty, and he says he's never going to firebind again. But then Admiral Zhao shows up and is ready to burn it all down, and then they have to face off against each other. Luckily, Aang learned from Master Zhang that Admiral Zhao, when he was first learning to be a firebender, had like zero self-restraint or control. He's just about burning shit down. And so Aang is able to use that to his advantage.
This episode for me started off as a kind of a goofy caper episode, but I definitely enjoyed where it went. And since we get another bending master in a later episode, and this kind of gives us what an actual bender of any of these elements can do and understands about their element. And I think that Master Zhang with his understanding of what it means to be a firebender, it's like, this is fantastic. Like all of that dialogue where he's talking about, it's like, you don't understand. It's like water bending, air bending, earth bending, all of that. There is something useful in it. It's like fire just destroys. That's what it does.
Yeah.
And it
That
does
is
not
its
need
nature.
to be controlled in order to do its thing.
Mm-mm.
Like, was it a boulder? It is not going to throw itself at someone.
Mm-mm.
It has to be
Yeah.
bent to do so. But a fire will fucking come after you without your help.
It's the only one of the elements that almost seems alive on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I feel like that he really got that point across, not only just within the episode, but to the viewers. And I think this is actually the second time we get to see Aang be a student. And, the first time is Katara trying to teach him what she knows about water bending.
Mm-hmm.
And now him trying to learn fire bending. Aang is a horrible student. He is a pain in the ass.
He's also like 11 years old.
He's 12.
Okay, well, all right. It's close enough.
He's an annoying little fuck if you were trying to train him this. And I get that. Yeah, it's because he's 12, but wow.
Yeah.
But on the, I guess at the very least, he does understand how to be contrite when he fucks up.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Like he does not fail to realize that his actions have consequences. He just doesn't always stop to consider what those might be before he takes the actions.
Mm-hmm.
He's impatient. And I mean, I don't think that it's necessarily only to do with the fact that he's a kid. I think that he feels the pressure of being the Avatar and the fact that shit has been going bad for the past 100 years that he bailed out on. And so he's just really driven to become, a fully fledged Avatar, and is not really considering how these things take time. And he's just like, I gotta do this. I have to be ready. Show me the thing. I don't have time to like do it the slow way. Just teach me how to throw some fireballs, dude.
Right.
Although to be fair, he doesn't have time.
Right. That's
He's
true.
got 6 months before the comet returns and everything goes sideways.
The thing I actually really appreciated is that, so Master Zhang doesn't, I don't think he really makes his point well. Like, and the thing that got Aang to like slow the fuck down, but almost in overcorrecting kind of way, was that he injured someone. And so rather than like learning to respect fire, he's like, I'm never going to firebend again. I think the thing that really taught him the lesson that Master Zhang was trying to bring across was the fight with Zhao, because now he gets a chance to see like, oh, this is why Master Zhang didn't want me to do it this way, like why he has a method, because this guy is supposed to be super powerful and I beat him doing nothing. Like he fucked himself over because of his impatience. Now he understands the importance of taking it slow.
I really like Admiral Zhao as a medium foil. Like he is a genuine threat. He's not an idiot. He's a competent person who like has brown nosed his way to the top, but he's been fairly ruthless about it. So I like that he's not just a joke. Because clearly that fight, like if Aang had tried to fight him directly, he would have lost that fight. But like you were saying, him learning, it's like, oh, this is exactly what he was trying to teach. The master was trying to teach me. That fight goes the way it did. But I do appreciate that Admiral Zhao is a genuine threat. So every time when he does beat him, it feels really good. Because he's just such an arrogant prick.
He really is.
Yeah. Again, kudos to Jason Isaacs. Jason Isaacs has really made
He's just so good.
He's so good at being so horrible. when he's given a villain to play, he's like, done. I am in it to make you hate me. It's like, yeah, your characters are vile. You are a fantastic actor. Here's some beer.
Yeah.
Have a beer. Let me buy you lunch.
But don't get angry at me because it's terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Any other thoughts about this particular episode?
I mean, my main thought was like, was Aang's reaction to at first thinking that firebending was cool, and then the horror of realizing that it's not simple and that it's fucking dangerous. I feel like we've seen him scared before, but this one, his failure here seems to hit home on him a lot harder.
Yeah, this is on par with like his fear in this was on par with his fear of when he clearly screwed up and almost lost Sokka and Katara.
Yeah.
To go questing for their father.
Yeah. Cool.
Like he doesn't those are the like he's afraid for things that he's afraid of losing people. He's afraid of losing connections. He's not afraid of anything else. As he's want to like leap before looking.
Yeah, he's usually almost playful in the face of adversaries, but it's it's when he thought he was going to be taken away from his I don't know, like his teacher, his direct supervisor guy back at the temple way back when. That's what set all of this off.
Yep.
And I wonder if like that there's a specific reason why he reacts so strongly to that, being so young, and if so, are we gonna learn more about that?
Probably.
Yeah.
We'll see how seasons 2 and 3 go.
Right.
Um,
Let's see.
episode 17. Do you have a synopsis for that one, Bean?
I don't, because I had to pull them up, I had to pull up the first one. I'm used to you doing.
The 17. I don't even remember the title of this one.
I know I went blank on it.
I do have the title. It is the Northern Air
Yes,
Temple.
that's right. The Northern Air Temple, starring Odo. Rene Auberginois is voice in this episode. The Northern Air Temple is where they stop on their way to the Northern Water Tribe, and much to everyone's surprise, there are people living in it, which Aang suspected that everyone would have been dead, just like the Southern Air Temple. But these are not airbenders, they are not monks, they are refugees that have moved in, and the head of the refugees is a master inventor, and has been improving, or has been making the monastery livable for people who don't know how to airbend, which at first really pisses Aang off. But when they realize that the Fire Nation is encroaching, they all kind of come together, and it's an interesting episode. It makes an go ahead.
It kind of plays as a one and done also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like this episode really shines with the visual aspects of it. It's interesting to see, how like offended Aang is at first until he's kind of made to realize that, why they are the way they are, what was required to keep them going.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good little reminder that, like, yeah, you're an airbender, but, have a little bit of humility.
Not everybody in this world is able to bend elements.
Right.
The reason that there are so many in the Fire Nation has to do again with this comet it caused an imbalance.
But speaking of the Fire Nation, that entire action sequence was pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Just beautifully rendered. Because again, like, it's my first time coming to this, so I've scenes that I think people are like, well, yeah, everyone knows that's a cool scene. Well, I don't. Like Aang is like flipping tank after tank, and then because I'm watching, I'm like, oh hell yeah, and then that one just fucking writes itself. I'm like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, that was crazy. I don't really understand how it's they really kind of like glossed over how those work, even though it was talking about how they worked is how they beat them ultimately.
Because I think the insinuation is that has some sort of gyroscope in them, and that's
powered with water.
There is water in the mechanism, which a waterbender could then exploit as a weakness.
I see, but then it seemed to me like what Katara did was just waterbend the snow and ice that was already on the mountain to sort of like block and flip, like push them around. So I don't know. That one felt a little clunky to me.
Which I guess we get more of an explanation. Well, not explanation, but we get more examples of in the episode that follows this, which is waterbending also includes forms of water that are not liquid.
Yeah, we can kind of roll into it too.
I guess I didn't realize that hadn't been established yet.
I don't think it had, like, not to the extent, and we get that definitely in the next episode, which is the waterbending master. And this is the heroes finally arrive at the North Pole, but for Katara, the trip may have been in vain, as Master Paku refuses to teach girls waterbending. This is definitely a outdated gender role episode, in that these particular gender roles are outdated and should be changed. Most of it is that they're all welcomed into the Water Tribe. There's a leader. There's a princess. Sokka, very expectedly falls in love with the princess. But the jewel of this episode is Katara learning that the waterbending master won't teach her anything because it's against their culture.
Right.
And even Aang trying to teach her surreptitiously is an affront to them. They're only good for using their waterbending for healing. When she's presented with the opportunity, it's like, we will continue to teach the Avatar so that he can learn waterbending, but you have to apologize. Her take is, you know what? Fuck you. Outside now.
Yeah.
Because the guy won't stop being a smug asshole. Like that character like was really laying it on thick.
And I think that was to prove the point to the viewer that this is not okay. None of this is okay.
Right.
And when you're presented with this, it is perfectly acceptable to go, nope, I'm not doing it.
You don't deserve an apology.
Right.
Even if it means Aang isn't gonna get what he came here for. But
Yep.
that's you have to draw a line somewhere.
Yep.
I think that like
Yeah.
essentially that guy was abusing his power by like saying like I can say and do whatever I want because you need me.
Mm-hmm. I also appreciate that she also went into that fight knowing I'm going to lose. I
Yes.
don't care.
That was my
Yeah.
favorite part. Like she knew she would lose because she doesn't have any real training, and yet she fucking gave it her all, and she's actually quite good at it.
Yeah, that was the other thing. It's like, oh yeah, I don't know what it's like. I need a waterbender to teach me. Teach you what? Those were some advanced fighting skills, kid.
Yeah, there was a moment where I thought maybe she would win the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely got up every single time she was knocked down. But yeah, this is also where we see that waterbending includes being able to freeze and unfreeze water rapidly and then still control it while it's frozen.
Yeah.
So,
which makes sense.
That terrifies me. Like, are they going to? What does that say about steam? Vapor,
Like, just like
I think like the physics, say we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Same reason why they had to tweak create or destroy water spell in D&D when people realized that druids could desiccate an opponent like that.
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, we should reword this spell a bit.
Yup. Ugly bags of mostly water.
Yeah.
That's why I don't drink water anymore.
There you go.
Only booze for me from now on. After this. So the B plot of this episode. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah. Ahsoka and the princess.
No. I was thinking
B-plot?
that's the C plot. The B plot is Admiral Zhao taking all of Zuko's crew and from his ship because once again he is pooling all available resources to come after Aang. For whatever reason, he knows this week that Aang and his friends have made their way up to the Northern Water Tribe, so he's taking everyone and everything, and they're going to go up there. And so now,
largely because he knows that the Water Tribe is not to be trifled with. It's like, oh, well, if we're going up there, we can't go with a standard platoon. We can't go with even double our standard platoon. We have to bring everything because they fight back.
That makes sense.
We're fire, but they're water in an entire area where there's nothing we can set on fire.
That's true. Their whole village is made of ice, which is pretty cool. But that means that now Zuko is on his own and just kind of hanging out. But the key thing that happens here is when Zhao comes to be a dick about taking his crew, he sees in Zuko's room that he's got these two swords hanging on the wall. and immediately recognizes them as the weapons that the masked lurker, I forget what his actual name
The Blue
was.
Spirit.
The Blue Spirit was was using the day that he took Aang and got him out of their fortress. And so now, because he suspects Zuko, he puts a hit out on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were some of the same pirates from that episode a while back.
They were the exact same pirates.
They decide to pull off this job by blowing up Zuko's ship when he's the only one on it. But spoilers, he survived that explosion and is now going to infiltrate Zhao's fleet as they are on their way to the Northern Tribe.
Mm-hmm. You're right. I'd forgotten about this plot, which is probably the more important one of the. Well, it's the second most important. Largely because I think this is the beginning of the character arc for Zuko that anyone and everyone who's watched this show says that Zuko's story is the most important story in all of Avatar. Or it's their favorite, or it's, it's so poignant. So what we've seen so far of Zuko is that he does believe in fairness. He does believe in there is a right and a wrong. He doesn't believe that life is worthless. Like he believes in the lives of the people of the Fire Nation. And well, he's very obsessed about getting the Avatar. I think he's beginning to question why and what he's actually after. And now this hit from Zhao, like I like that clearly Uncle Iroh and Zuko understand. It's like, no, Zhao's trying to kill me. I think the best thing I can do is be dead until we can do the same to him. Again, like Zhao is not he's an intimidating foe. He's still a minor boss, but he's not a stupid foe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he would be a lot more dangerous if he, had a little more patience or care
And
in
restraint.
his craft.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Restraint.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't. His ambition outweighs his restraint. So the next 2 episodes are a 2-parter, which is why I reshuffled and cut us off here, because I figured the next 2 episodes are going to be a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we might want to break them up, like do 2 each week instead of 4.
Well, at least for these next 2.
Yeah.
So I think it always depends. Like if they're 4 happy-go-lucky episodes, we can breeze through them. Like it was easier to breeze through a lot of the earlier episodes where it's like, yeah, this is fun. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're goofy kids.
It's like as DS9 goes on,
it
gets harder to do arcs,
Yep.
like short reviews of arcs.
So I was hoping that we would be through Avatar by the end of June. We might not be. So we'll see.
Maybe. Plus,
we're still on track, but we'll see.
Next week, I might greedily take a big chunk of the episode since
I think you should.
Season of Bruja drops next week.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, the day the show gets uploaded, go to your comic book shops and buy it, please. Yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm at the point now, like order it. It's like you either ordered it or you didn't, and if you didn't, hopefully the shops have it, or you can get it online. So.
But is there going to be a second printing?
I cannot confirm or deny that.
I see. Okay. Well, hopefully.
Who knows?
Maybe you should. Maybe the readers out there should just go get a copy when it comes out.
Yes,
that'd be the safest bet.
That would be a really good idea. Yeah. I can say more next week. of things. But yeah,
I think that I think we've kind of allotted for you to just talk about this next week and maybe do a little Avatar.
yeah, and I might be able to actually show a comic, like show an issue live on Tuesday, even though it doesn't drop until Wednesday. I mean, theoretically, I have comps coming to me, but we're a week out. I don't know when comps normally show up.
Sooner than this?
Yeah, sometimes.
Under normal circumstances, which
That's
these
right.
are not.
Thanks, Bex. There's also a slight chance I might be like recording this show from a comic book shop, signing a ton of them for something else that's happening
Next week?
Yes. Anyone who follows RevNat on Instagram might have gotten a little hint. So, or if you get his newsletter.
I do both.
Yeah, I'm like, don't I do both of those things?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's all I can say on that too. I mean, but there's clues.
Okay.
Well, we should end on the vague then.
Yes,
I guess so.
Okay, well, with that, I'm Aaron Duran. I was gonna be like spooky, but it wasn't spooky. It was just vague.
Not a spooky episode. It's too late to change it now. I'm regular levels of spook, Beanarita.
I am absolutely horrifying Cable Hashitani.
There you go. We will talk to Fire Cow. Maybe I would do that. That could be fun. Do a reading rainbow style. Hold it up to the camera. We'll see. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you all next week.
Good night.